Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Eric's Drink Whiskey. We are wrapping up our mini episode series on rye as part of our larger mash bill series. And up to now, we've heard from both Eric and I talking about Old Forester's Straight Rye as a great value buy. Eric talked a little bit about the history of rye whiskey last week with Willett's Family Estate Straight Rye Whiskey. Today, I've been given a little creative license to talk about one of the brands that I really enjoy that actually has a fantastic lineup, in my opinion, of rye whiskeys, and that is Knob Creek. Lined up here is their Straight Rye Whiskey. It is, by the internet's best guess, 51% rye in the mash bill, making it legally rye. No age stated, but since it is a straight rye, we're guessing at least 4 years. Now, this guy right here is the building block of these other two. Right here in the middle is the twice barreled rye. This is the straight rye that has then been finished in a second new charred oak barrel with a number 4 level char. Now what that means is it has felt the fire for a full 55 seconds, almost a whole minute, to give it that nice, real crinkly alligator texture or alligator skin texture. It's actually also called an alligator char. Now what does that do? Well, the charring in itself gets the barrel ready to receive the whiskey. It brings those barrel sugars up to the surface, caramelizes them a little, gives a lot of those really nice caramel, honey, brown sugary, vanilla-y notes. Now with a level 4 char like that and going in it for a second time, it really lets the whiskey penetrate a lot deeper into that wood and bring out a lot more of those flavors. So we're really anxious to see kind of what that does to this. Now, the last one is their Cask Strength Rye. This is batch number 2 of this particular release. And it states that it was barreled in 2010 right here on the label. Now what we don't know is, does that mean it is 10 years old? Or if it was barreled in 2010, pulled out 4, 5, 6, 7 years later and vatted and then bottled? I don't know. Having had it, I will say it drinks a little bit older than a 4-year rye, but that's just my opinion. So, got these 3 really great whiskeys, and I really think there's no better way to really get down into these flavors than to do a good old-fashioned shootout. All right, the stage is set. We have a veritable OK Corral of rye whiskey set up now right in front of us. These samples are blinded. I do not know which is which. Thankfully, my trusty partner, my wife, has graciously written down the results in this envelope here, which we'll do a big reveal at the end. With that said, we'll jump right down into it. One thing I've done, these have been poured for a little bit, put these little cards on it to kind of seal in the aroma. If you've got a regular old Glencairn glass like this with a little narrower opening, you can almost put a whole poker chip on there. It fits just perfectly and accomplishes the same thing. Just keeps those smells in there to make nosing a little bit easier. Now, we have essentially in this lineup, brother against brother. This is all Knob Creek Rye going up against each other in this shootout. So we'll see which one comes out on top. Sample A. It's right off the bat getting a nice bright kind of green apple smell, which I would not expect from any of these with a 51% rye mash bill, but I'm getting it. Along with that, a little bit of vanilla, some of that kind of rye pepperiness. Still get some of that honey, that bright green apple flavor. Should get a fair amount of corn on this one. I don't know if you guys have had kind of Heaven Hill stuff before, so talking Evan Williams, Elijah Craig, Henry McKenna, Cabin Still, and so on and whatnot. Heaven Hill's got a lot of stuff out there. Heaven Hill, and Eric can back me up on this, you always get some kind of old dusty corn. This isn't old dusty corn, this is kind of new corn. But I get that with sample A. Sample B, let's give it a go. Still got that bright green apple smell to it. Getting a little kind of some deeper notes, some cinnamon, maybe a little bit more herbalness. Oh, wow. A little bit more pepper on this one. It drinks sweeter. It's more of a what Eric would call a syrup bomb, kind of a thicker mouthfeel. Really good. And sample C. Warm. Nose had some green apple. Getting some green apple, some kind of a grain. Not really barley. It's kind of a granola-y flavor. A nice amount of oak with this one. Kind of nice long oaky finish on it. Really nice. Really enjoy that. All three of these are fantastic. It's a shame that I gotta rank them. Oh, damn. I gotta put C first. It is... I love a good oaky bourbon, a good oaky whiskey in general. And that's what C gives me. It's kind of the same flavors as these first two. Maybe not as sweet, but it's got that right amount of oaky, kind of oak, vanilla, and some of that astringency that comes with a good bit of oak. Nice long finish. I like it. I'll put B as my second choice. I love kind of those heavier syrup bombs. I'll have, if I'm going out to eat, I'll grab a glass of something like a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof as kind of a dessert whiskey. I know everyone's like, oh, how could you do 130 proof as dessert? Well, it's nice and sweet, and if you drink it slow, it's not going to do too much damage. So, and then last but not least, because it was very good, is A. Now, I could guess what these are. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to read it right off the list for you guys. All right. That's a shocker. Winning the Knob Creek Rye shootout. Twice barreled rye. I don't know if you guys can see that. That may be too far forward. Twice barreled rye. I think that throwing it in that second barrel to finish, especially with that deep char, just let a lot of that oak, that barrel flavor, those sugars, just kind of work its magic on that straight rye flavor. So good. Can't recommend it enough. Letter B. Sorry. It's a Georgia education for you. Letter B is the Cask Strength. I'll be honest, I'm surprised for two reasons. One, I normally, in any blind tasting I've ever done, have put a Cask Strength whiskey at the top. Like I said, I love the mouthfeel, I love the flavor, the complexity and depth of flavor, and that definitely had all of that. I don't know, something about that second barrel just put the twice barreled on top. So, which means that in last place or third place is the straight rye. Not to say this was bad. This was a great whiskey. Really kind of a bright flavor. The green apple, just a right little bit of kind of that cinnamony rye spice, some vanilla, some honey. It's just a very good whiskey. I think this would be a good one if you are a fan of bourbon, especially kind of some of your oakier bourbons. That this would be a good jumping off point to start drinking rye whiskey. It's a nice, very approachable flavor. It's not gonna kill your taste buds. Just a very good. Now, in terms of price, how much is all this? That's probably what everyone's wanting to know by now. You've stared at these bottles for about 10 minutes. So, I'll start right here with the straight rye. This will set you back about $39.99. This fella right here just jumps up a little bit in price. We're looking at about $45.99, $46 for the twice barreled rye, and you can find both of these just about anywhere. It's going to be, you know, your little liquor store down the corner, your bigger box liquor stores. They will more than likely have both of these with their ryes. This guy right here is going to be a little bit harder to find. This is their a special release. This is batch number 2 of it, like I said. Now this guy jumps up a little bit in price. It is $69.99, so just under $70. So for a cask strength, for a higher age, what I'm assuming, and I am not an expert, I don't think $70 is a bad deal, especially if you like rye whiskey. I think this is a good deal. I think all 3 of these are good deals. Do you need to do what I do and go out and buy 2 at a time? Probably not. You can cool it on that a little bit. You don't want anyone mad at you. But twice barreled rye wins the day. Now with that, all that said, if you have enjoyed what you have seen here today, be sure to like this video. We would definitely appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We try to put out a video about every week. Jumping from next weekend, we'll be jumping into bourbons and doing some great picks there. Also, be sure to turn on notifications because you want to be notified when we drop new content. Again, that's going to be about every week, but we may have some special stuff coming up. Also, if you haven't yet, please follow us on Instagram at Eric's_drink_whiskey. That's where we're going to be posting when we're buying new and crazy stuff, what we're drinking, where we're going, who we're talking to, and also we'll let you know when we're airing new content out there as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Eric kind of gave me some free reign with this one to do this little shootout with my Knob Creek collection. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, cheers.